Oh, we are live, although I feel a little dead. Hello, everyone. This is Jack, your host extraordinaire for ASM. We're going to talk about some modeling hobby stuff. And today's title, what is today's title? I don't even know. I gave it, and it's something like Obsessing Over a Build. Basically, we're going to talk about the difficult things we run into and how we, excuse me, how we get, it's not Corona, I'm just swallowing the wrong way. It's sign of the times. You have to make an excuse when you cough.
Basically, builds that drive us crazy.
Yeah, no, seriously. So anyway, what kind of the hard builds that we get ourselves into and how we lift ourselves up out of it and achieve our goals. And we'll be doing some, of course, some screen sharing. Hi, George. Everybody's starting to pile in and on the open chat, so you can just join us. And if you have a question, if you have a remark, certainly I will pay attention as well as I can and bring it into the conversation. So the coming hour, that's what we're going to talk about. So let's see who's going to be the first victim. How about Max Headroom over here?
Yeah. As I was saying earlier on the Forward Side Live, I'm working on the Titanic 1400, and I've been working on the photo edge for the windows because the light is going to be blaring through the windows. So what I've done is I've fitted the photo edge, and to counteract it, light blocked all the blacks and filled it in with some clear yellow to give an ambient look. But I've now got to repaint all the front of these. If you can get the focus on it.
Okay. Or you didn't cut those out. That's how the mold came, is with the open windows.
The open windows actually come.
Yes. Wow.
Like that.
That should make it easy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they're not impressive unless you get the photo edge, which comes with the kit. But they don't come with the windows. You have to get the Edard extra kit that gives you the windows, which is a bit of a pain because it's more expense.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little tip for anybody who's building this kit. Is if you are building this kit, and obviously you've got to repaint the whole of the hull because it's the wrong colours. Because this is the premium edition, it's lit up. I've been looking at some of the videos people put up. They're not light blocking this because if they think it's black, and it won't. If you don't light block it, you'll get too much of a reflective because all of that will reflect all the lights, and you'll have.
You start to look like a death lamp.
Exactly. So the tip is, even though you think it's dark and doesn't need light blocking, light block the inside. And all I've done with that is about 2 coats of the matte black. And that should suffice. And when you shine the light through, it just comes through nicely. So that's a little tip for anybody who's doing this. Okay. But apart from that, that's about all I'm on the bench at the moment, Jack.
Well, as for the subject, I can tell you, hold on a second. Let me get this out to Bob here. Paste. All right, Bob, there you go. What I remember you having most difficult time with is anything that has the word refit in it.
Yeah. And mainly I had a lot of trouble with the lighting on that. But through people like Ralph and Bernie these are people that deal with electronics. They basically guided me through and helped me with any lighting problems I had.
Uh-huh. Did you ever get the TOS done?
Yes, finished that and completed it.
How many kits did it take you to do it?
3.
Was it a 2-kit jack build or something?
No, it was basically the first 2 kits. I had major problems with the fits, and then the circuit board inside failed, and when I cracked the one open, it just wrecked the model. But when I came to the last one, everything went like a dream.
So what was so difficult about it?
The hanger bay is a problem. The fit for the hanger bay.
No, really?
It doesn't fit. You have to really grind the walls down to next to nothing. And then you have the problem with the nacelles, getting the spinners to work properly. Even with the motors, you still had problems with the spinners because the spinners fit onto the motors. But because it's clear styrene, to get them to actually fix on and stick, that was one of the biggest problems I had. And the way I came over it was basically I had to fix a piece of styrene onto the actual motor and then glue that onto the actual plastic bit that fits on top of the motor so it held it tight.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time you just put the motor into the clear piece, it just completely spun. But there's things that you know, if we didn't have problems, we wouldn't be modelling. And it's how we overcome them step by step as we do it. So yeah, the final toss I did, everything from the sound to the painting to the electronics to putting the thing together actually worked pretty well.
Well, all right. Yeah, you were having some issues with that. At times, I had to. I just had to laugh because it's you. I know. If I were to delve into a build like that, I'd be thinking an awful lot about you, and I'll have a good time building those things because I'll be thinking of you. And you left an impression. That's a good thing. And with all the difficulties that you've shown you've had, and I remember, oh gosh, ASM has been around 7 years now. Going on 7 years, probably July, August. I think we'll just call it then the anniversary time for ASM. And I don't know, maybe about a year or two into it, you were just marveling at the fact that you can light your models, and you were trying to learn how to use LEDs and solder iron and all that sort of thing. I'm surprised you didn't bring that up.
Yeah, obviously, I only got into the lighting side of things. I mean, I've been modelling, 20, 30 years, and actually putting models together was never a problem for me, or painting them. But it was a case of when I came to do move into the lighting side of things, that's where the difficulties came. Because, yeah, you're right, I had to learn basically how to solder the LEDs together, how to put the resistors on, what resistors to use, how to wire the boards up and feed the cables through and embed them into different places in the model without them being seen. And, none of that would have happened unless it had been like with the guys that were on the hangouts back then. Mm-hmm. And I will throw a shout out to Ralph because he was one of the main contributors who maybe taught me way through doing a lot of the wiring and understanding wiring diagram and understanding how a circuit works. And with his help, it was really, really good. And now I can just write them all up.
Okay. All right. Somebody got a haircut. B0B for the sake of ease, I'll just call you Bob. How you doing, Bob? You got a haircut. I think he did it himself. It looks like a do-it-yourself.
Hi, Bob.
A number
Yes,
1 or 2. Maybe you're one.
Bob.
Yep. Can't be the good old number 2 there, Bob.
I don't know. Can you hear us, Bob?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just have such bad internet connection right now.
Oh, you do?
That, I don't know if you can hear me. All right.
Yep.
Hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. So, what did you have to obsess over and to get yourself out of a difficult spot, a difficult build? What was it? I think
How to
internet.
get myself out of a difficult build is still sitting on a table over here. Just pile another box on top of it.
Well, that's one way to solve it.
Pretend it doesn't exist.
That's the other way.
That's the other way. Yeah.
On the next kit.
Yeah, Phil was saying that the old Arabic Bismarck springs to mind with the add-ons, and add-ons when it comes to ships. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I've been mostly working with dealing with a large hole in my roof, so I haven't done a whole lot of modeling lately. So
Oh.
Oh, that's too bad. What happened? Lightning strike.
tree came down.
Jeez.
There's a tree in the dining room.
Ooh.
Oh, Bob.
Not good.
So we've been dealing with that mostly, but I've been trying to get back to the building. I
Yeah.
bought 5 or 6 new kits, but
Yeah.
I got nothing
Yeah.
working.
Those 1-to-1 scale builds are the toughest, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like dining rooms.
they're the biggest pain.
Oh, well,
We're getting there. We got all the outside is done.
good.
We just got to get all the drywall and insulation stripped out and redone. For all
Okay.
the water damage.
Okay. Progress forward. So I don't think you ever have a difficult build. You make modeling look easy.
Well, yeah, I've only got, I guess, one difficult build going. And my problem is I'm trying to find the right material for the scratch built part. And everything I've tried, I'm not happy with. So it just keeps going back into the pile until I find something else to try.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly been buying supplies and getting more kits because I can't have time to build. But I have time to play on the internet at night, so that's always a bad combination.
Well, my bad combination is not the internet. It's internet, beer, and a build.
Well, I don't have too much beer. I do mostly Mountain Dew.
I get a little emotional when I drink beer. That's why I drink coffee in the morning. That's why we do this in the morning. Yeah, my thing isn't the material. My thing is the tools. Does anybody know where I can get a cheap sledgehammer?
I get one I can send to you. Postage might be a killer, though.
or just take out to Bob's yard and a tree will fall on it.
Yeah.
Is that too soon?
No.
I thought your local Home Depot could get you a sledge.
We already cut that tree up and it's in my barbecue pit waiting for the next grilling. We're gonna use it to grill with. So
Yeah, the thing about styrene is that now it's in a fire pit and they just keep burning and burning and burning.
It's turned into a black goo. Yeah.
It's black. Gives off a few toxins in the atmosphere. So, anyway, I I don't know if you're the media mogul, Bob, but whenever you post pictures of your build, you just make it look so easy. That's just my impression of you as a builder. So keep it, run with it, and we can continue calling you royalty when it comes to model building.
Well, thanks, Jack.
Okay, King Bob.
So what do you obsess over there, Phil?
Me.
Yeah,
I obsess over everything.
I know.
Everything.
Watching you build is like watching plants grow.
The panda keeps me in order though.
Well,
Well, we did mention the FX Bismarck,
Yeah.
which is a horrendous kit. And I don't know if you can see all the little white bits where I've been correcting. There's some photo etch on it. There's been lots of scraping and reshaping, and then it gets put aside when I need a rest. And then because I keep seeing stuff that needs to be replaced, and if I replaced everything that needed to be replaced, there wouldn't be anything left of the original kit. So it's at the moment it's a Sauzir, and I'm really trying to make a silk purse out of it. But that's been on the shelf for a little while because I keep every so often I keep looking askance at it and thinking I really should. But I really should do something else.
And mocks you, build me, finish me.
Yeah, it sits there, goes from the shelf, and saying, "You're no good." But yeah, I mean, talking about obsessive, the other thing that springs to mind is this Revel 196th. Yeah. Now inside that, there is an LED which lights it, and there is a shrunk down paper model interior. Because I wanted someone to be able to see something that looked reasonably accurate. That's kind of how obsessive I get with things. I don't seem to be able to build a model straight out the box. I have to add to it or modify it, or it's like because I wanted to do Apollo 13. This is the rest of that, the Revel 196th one. All the external detail was wrong, so I've redone all that. It's got the oxygen bottles, hydrogen bottles, and the burst open bay. Now, I'm a bit stuck on how best to represent the fact that one of the oxygen bottles, at least, was blown. So I'm still working on that one.
Did it blow per se or rupture?
Well, one of the oxygen tanks actually exploded, and it ruptured the other one. So that they've both got damage on them, as far as I'm aware. Of course, another aspect of obsessive building is that's the R2D2 from the 1/18th, the D'Agostini build your own X-wing. So the big X-wing, the dome especially on it. It's the R2 that comes with that. The dome especially is absolute rubbish. The petals sink in so much, so they've all been filled and sanded and reshaped, and so I just can't leave anything alone. I can't build anything out of the box as it was intended. In fact, I bought those original few issues. I bought several, so I've got a number of domes on the go. I've got that one, and I got that one. So yeah. So obsessive much maybe.
Well, earlier when I know that, we'll take a build that you did as a 13-year-old and redo it.
Yeah. The X-wing that I redid.
You did a lot of redos, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I've done a lot of.
You paint, you strip it, you do new paint.
Yeah. If I'm not happy with an old model that I built a long time ago, if I think I can breathe new life into it, I'll do that. But yeah, but I really like doing it, so I don't really see it much as a problem. Really, it's just that sometimes I get bogged down, and it gets in the way of other builds. There's another thing here. Yeah, this is another thing. That's the I don't know if you can see the Saturn. Was it the S?
Secondary booster.
Is it the S4B? Is it the one that sends them to the moon? Yeah. Well, all of those ribs on there, they're all individual pieces of evergreen rod.
Good grief! Sorry.
Yeah. Mind you, I tell you what, doing that is really therapeutic. You don't think about anything else when you're doing that. So it depends. It's really what you find. I mean, yes, I can be quite obsessive. I don't know whether I'm sort of on the spectrum of OCD or not, but
I think there's a little bit of that going on with you. I have to say, you just show some exquisite detail and skill and doing it the right way. You do take some of your builds to shows, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because last time we talked about the ins and outs of doing a show and being critiqued by your peers and people that think they know better.
Yeah. Well, I never have a problem with someone, especially if they've got constructive criticism. If they say, "Oh, yeah, there's a," especially if I know where I went wrong, because most of the time I will know where I've gone wrong. But when someone's nitpicking over something really minor, then it's like, "Oh yeah, okay, right."
Constructive criticism is always better than condescending criticism.
Yeah. Because one of the things I was going to say last week was I think I put it in the chat, but the last time we were on was the kind of shows I like are the ones where instead of them having a separate competition, everything that's on display at the show is actually in the competition, and so you have the people going round and sort of looking at everything that's on all the tables and marking the things they particularly like. And say I got a couple of awards that way, and it's like, I'm not sort of competing with the people who build specifically for competitions. I'm sort of being judged against my peers.
Yeah.
And I always feel that's a bit more of an honest, honest way. I mean, it's great. It's great if you win in a competition, and it's everyone's put all their best work in. Obviously, that's fantastic. That's if you get awards there, that's great. But I do like the idea that you sort of being. Everyone gets a chance, and everyone gets a fair chance on
something like a People's Choice Award.
Yeah, it's pretty much. But it's
voted by everybody that's there, not necessarily just the modelers that are participating in the competition.
Well, our club has an award for the best model on the table, and that is awarded by. We usually pick someone who's randomly passing by and looking at the models, and if they look interested enough, we'll say, okay, can you pick what you think is the best model on the table, because we've got this award that named after one of our late members. And you just sort of you hold on to that award until the next show. And every show that we have a table at, we that the award is usually up there, unless someone forgets to bring it in.
Right.
But yeah, and I mean the title of the show is like how to break free. Well, I don't know if I can break free from obsessive modeling. It's very, very difficult.
Interesting.
Otherwise,
I never thought of that. That it doesn't even sound like you even have a desire to break free from your obsessive detailing.
It would be nice sometimes to just be able to pick up a model and build it and paint it and not do something different. But I don't know. I don't think that's. I got a feeling that's just not the way I'm made anymore.
I was just thinking about that just like not even 5 minutes ago. Is that I'm more of the technocrat, the engineer, the thing, putting something together more than it was intended to do, and not worry so much about paint and how it works overall, just as long as it functions. If that makes any sense. And and I don't know if I can break away from that. My recent build of the 1000 scale D7 is just been aggravating only because the decal set was horrible, and so I only put a few on and threw the rest away. And it also came with stick-ons. I'll never put stick-on decals on. I did that once and was sorry that I did. It ruined the model, if anything.
Yeah, stickers are.
If I don't like dissect it and put it into a format that it wasn't meant to, I guess I'm the same with the details than you. I mean, my details are from the inside out as opposed to the outside like you are. I obsess over electronics and lights and wires and how everything is put together. I'll thing that I do obsessive over. You know what? I should open my other screen. This will just make it much more easier to do. I'll just take a picture here. Oh, please. Computers. Can't live with them. We can't live without them. And this is just getting to the point where it's getting ad nauseum with me. Is this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about here. Let's see. Here's a nacelle, and then we got this thing too. I think that actually looks pretty cool. I'm more of the special. This is how I build, and when you see my D7, the paint job isn't exactly the greatest, but I try, and that's why I built it to help myself get more paint oriented, because after all, that's what ends up being seen mostly is the paint. So let's go over here, and here's the D7. And that's a nice clear picture. I thought, painting the stand like the decals would kind of overwhelm the model, but I don't know. I don't think it does. But,
seems to work okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are the thing I'm doing. Leaving these seams open, not paying attention to that. I'm fully aware of that's what I'm doing, but this is just something I wanted to. And I painted this before assembling it, which I don't even know how to go about doing this sort of thing. Do I paint it before and then touch it up later, or do I build it and then paint it and use a buttload of masks? I don't know. I got both ways and gotten somewhat the same kind of results. I don't know. When I get to this stage, I hurry up and get it done. I don't know. Oh, there's a big bad scene right over here. Look at that. I just noticed that. It's funny. I don't even see it in person, but when I see it on a photograph, it's like, oh my god, it's there.
That's why you should always take pictures of your models and then look at the pictures.
Yeah.
Always see 'em.
Amplify all the imperfections. Yeah.
I'm
Or
not
don't look at the pictures.
right. Not to say this is a difficult build.
Find every little thing.
This is far from a difficult build. Actually, the fit is actually quite nice on this kit. You see, look at that decal, wrinkling. Oh, the decals were horrible. They really were. I did not like the decals. And the decals was too far back. They needed a little far forward. Stuff like this. And this is more me. Because I did this to another build that I'm not showing and I'm not going to. Maybe I'm going to do a fill and do a paint job on it that I like. I did a paint job that was horrible. But this is what I did was on the other build that I'm not showing in this build, have all this resin that I'm not using. So I put in a base, make it a little weightier, put some weight into it.
Give you some stability.
It does. Well, for being so small, the stand is pretty small. Oh, yeah, it at least doubled or tripled the weight on it. So that's the kind of thing I obsess over, And who do we lose?
Jamie.
Jamie. Oh, sorry, Jamie. That's the thing that I obsess over, and the one build that I really liked is right there is the NX01 that was very successful. Although one of the nacelles is a little crooked because I didn't take it off the sprue and one of the locator pins was cut off, so I was kind of eyeballing it.
Just had a run in with a Zindi.
Yeah. right. But what I often do is I look up videos of other people who build them and maybe watch a couple of videos on those builds and see where the pitfalls are so I can avoid them. Does anybody do that?
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, I certainly did that with the Discovery build from a couple of years ago. I think I nearly played Lou's video of build of his so many times. I think I near broke the broke the YouTube.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's nice to go watch somebody else's build of the same model. If anything, to see what issues they have.
Yeah.
So that I can be ahead of the game on that before I get to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, start relearning everything over again.
Yeah.
Although when it comes to the NX01, a lot of people say that the back end, because the back end is separate from the front end, the back end would sag. I was so conscientious of that. I put so much material between the front and back that I think that'll be the last thing to give on it, and it's perfectly straight across. The profile is very nice. It's those kinds of things that I'm talking about. How about you, Jim? You've done the paper builds and everything else in between.
I've had some real interesting issues, mostly because of the models I select. One that comes to mind that really was a lot of work was my Bismarck. Yeah, the Bismarck comes up again. Yeah, but in this case, the designer Petrosi. First of all, there's no manual, so all I've got is pages of parts, and that's another case where reference material is king. And I found this book to be it was essential in putting it together. But search out all the parts and there they go, and then to get certain things to fit properly, there were some pieces I had to redesign, and that fit, and all stuff like that. Sort of Let's get some.
You doing it?
Share screen. Application. Here. Boink. Bring that up. Anyway, yeah. So there were some things, issues. I still never really built a proper base for it. It's still got the original building board for the base, but there was a lot of issues. Now, some of them were some of the railings. I had to replace some of the railings with some photo etch because the
No kidding.
railings were just didn't fit or weren't there. I think there was a couple in the back that actually weren't there, so I had to replace some photo etch.
So this was your difficult one.
Yeah, because it had everything. You had to figure everything out. You didn't have any images or anything else to know how the parts went together. So you had to experiment and go with what reference material you had. And it's not like a lot of people had built this model in order to put it together. So it all took.
To give this some context, and you've said this before, is that a lot of these paper models are designed and created by just average Joes like you and I.
Yeah.
And you don't put any instructions out. You're on your own.
Yeah, and it's the same as that, and this, and the other one that was a big one to do was, let's see this one. Let's go back here. Share screen. Was my big E. Mostly because that was a prototype model. I got the model right from the designer, and this was the first build of the model. So I was constantly going back and forth with the designer on parts, having to get parts redesigned and everything else all the time.
Is this the one that made it to the magazine?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Yeah, he's a published builder of this one. That is very nice. That is very sweet. It just seems like when it comes to paper models, some paper models turn out better than others.
Yeah. Some look out. Some work out better than others in the looks and that.
Mm-hmm.
And there was awful lot of working and reworking with the model in order to make it work. Even like the fit, like up here with the like this whole section here all slid in, so it was a slide in down in order to get it to fit tight. I had to do a lot of sanding and refitting to get this part to fit. The other part was different, was from the original design, was back here. Now, I had to go through from what he had these going all the way to the back, and they just didn't fit right. It didn't look right. And I went through all kinds of reference models of shots from the show, of the model, from the TV show to find out where it was. Ends up, there's two versions of the E.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One's got the long cooling fins, but goes right to the back of the edge of the saucer. Another one it doesn't. It's short. And because the fins didn't work right in the original design, I cut them back and built the short version.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. You think of that, and there was two versions of it. It's like, holy crap!
Is this like the actual filming miniature and then the CGI version that they built for the later movies?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they weren't consistent in certain things, which makes it difficult when you build a model, which one's CAD or which one's not type thing. So, and then you rely on those pictures and have to put replacement of parts. But again, you've got no build drawings because all you've got are your reference material and a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, I think these film modelers just like to make life difficult for us, kit builders.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny you should say that because shortly I'm going to finalize my dataless files, and whoever wants them can inquire about them and print them themselves. And I'm not going to have any instructions. I'm going to have a blow up image of it. I think a blow up image is good enough, I suppose. That's really the main thing I got to work on is a blow up image, and then just do. Well, I call them IKEA instructions.
Yeah.
Pictorial.
Yeah, it's just straight pictorials.
Right. And you know what? I mean, if you're a modeler, you can figure it out, a blow up. Because after all, that's what a lot of these manufacturers are starting to do is just do blow up instructions. Like the D7 and the Vulcan shuttle were all blow up instructions.
Well, I can understand it because a lot of these models are being sent to multiple countries, and rather than have to rewrite the instructions for each separate language, that they do straight images that gets around that issue. Images and symbols.
Uh-huh.
It just gets around all that issue.
Ooh, that's pretty right there. Because it's got different levels and different tiers.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's really nice. Yeah.
There's something you didn't really see in the show at all. Is this thing had landing gear?
I think it does. I'm not the Star Trek fan to ask.
The model had landing gear.
There were some artwork was done showing the saucer separating.
Yeah.
And the saucer having landing gear somewhere. I remember the saucer separating bit, but I don't remember the landing gear bit.
Yeah.
Presumably they didn't want to repeat a repeat of the crash of the D's.
Yeah.
Primary hull.
Oddly enough, the original Enterprise, original series Enterprise, those two triangular things on the underside of the primary hull were supposedly landing gear that came down. So if they separated the primary hull from the secondary, I think it kept the neck as the back landing gear, and it would land, and those two front things would come down. It was supposed to land like that. So how canon that is, I don't know, but that's. I've probably just initiated another huge argument somewhere now.
The canon was Kirk saying to Scotty, if such and such doesn't work, separate the warp drive and impulse power or something like that. But he didn't specify whether that was ditching the nacelles or ditching the entire engineering hull.
Well, I don't think the saucers had warp drive. I think they only had
they had impulse. Yeah,
he's only had impulse. Yeah.
And I think this picture depicts something we didn't know about Jim. He can stand on his head and take pictures.
Yeah.
Well, athletic Jim.
Well, for you, a bit of artistic license here. How the heck are you going to rather than take a picture of the model to depict the bottom of it, you can't really suspend it that much in the photo cube. So why not take the picture upside down?
Yeah, I mean, good balance and steady hand there.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon he had his feet hooked into a bar on the ceiling to take those.
Yeah, that is an interesting build there, Jim. That was well done, and you must be extraordinarily proud of it because
Oh,
of
I am
the
very.
numbers of it.
Yeah.
Many of us won't get to that point. Not that it is a goal of mine, and
Well, it was just an opportunity when that I wasn't thinking about that originally, but it just so happened that the magazine had this contest for Star Trek models, so I figured for the anniversary, I think it was, yeah. So I figured, why not?
sure.
All I can say is that it won't place anywhere or do anything or won't get published. But
I wonder if the maker of that got any increase in traffic and wanting to have that very model.
it's possible.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to find out,
It's
really.
possible.
Yeah. And talking about the most obsessive, but if he's not distracted, he's not obsessed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they get distracted too easily. Building one model, then someone comes along and ooh, look at that! I'll build that instead.
How long did it take you to figure out that yellow color?
Oh my goodness gracious me! Yes, that one model of. Hang on, I'll just share it.
Of the Laird.
Nope, this one. Can I never
Oh,
Yep.
That's a solid yellow.
yeah.
That yellow paint was the bane of my life for a week. Trying to every time I thought I was getting a good color or good coat down, I would look at it and oh no, there's another bit of lint or another bit of grit or something was showing through that had already gotten onto the model or something, So I did the next best thing after I'd managed to finish it. I went on to do another model with yellow on it. Oddly enough, that one didn't give me any bother. It was more the decals. As you can see, the decal, the zero there should be the same shade of yellow as this, but
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah,
But
bit too transparent, translucent.
yeah, did that for the stunt and speed build that we did a while back.
Yeah. You actually did both in one build.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because this was a racer from the 1930s. The stunt being the pilot actually survived flying the thing. Yeah, and of course maybe a bit less yellow, but it was a nice break from Obsession because everything was literally just out of the box build. There was no nothing added to it, no obsession over the minutest detail, etc. I just built it and painted it, and there it is.
Dirk says he hates painting yellow. I hate painting red, actually. I don't like painting red, but yeah.
When it comes to models that almost broke me, oddly enough, it was one of the smallest models I think that I've ever built. And it was this.
Oh dear.
The little Cayuse that couldn't.
Oh wow!
I did obsess quite a bit with the detail on the inside, and I even cut out the doors on the other side were molded solidly, so I cut them out.
Wow!
I added a few scratch details like handholds. I don't know if you can see it up in there, but there's the cabling for the earphones for the pilots, stuff like that. But what broke me was the fit of everything. Okay, maybe I didn't help things when I cut out the door on the other side, but Uh, the glass or the canopy fitted only where it touched. It took ages getting that sorted.
Mhm.
The paint work, I used extra color enamels, and I think it took maybe the better part of 2 months before they stopped being sticky or tacky. So
Yeah. Well, I recommend you build 3 more of those and a Stearman in the same scale.
oh yeah. Oh well, actually, I do have a Stearman. But
do,
I don't.
do a Capricorn 1 build.
I don't want to go anywhere near that chaos ever again. It might meet with an unfortunate accident.
Perhaps a different kit.
Yeah, well, it's still, sticking with yellow themes.
God. Yeah, you're obsessed with that color.
It's
So
the
obsession.
eternal struggle, isn't it? Randall,
yeah.
It's the eternal struggle with your nemesis.
Yeah, but I'm getting better at it. I mean, that and the laird did not give me anywhere near the amount of problems that the Lambo did. So, well, okay, yeah, got a wee bit of lint here and there, but nothing that was nearly as bad as the Lambo. So maybe I'm learning to love the yellow.
Well, yeah, Heath was saying that was a mighty small chopper, and I hate to break the bad news to you.
I'll try not to take that too personally.
The model chopper of the 25 scale is just a Randall's bigger than life.
Pardon?
It's a 25 scale chopper. You're just bigger than life. It's not a small kid.
Yeah.
How you doing, Wayne? So, what's your obsession, and where'd you get yourself out of trouble when you found yourself in it?
Normally, I'd end up in it again anyway afterwards.
Oh, it's every kit you open, huh?
No, not really. I don't have major issues with the kits. It's just some kits have issues with me.
I think there's therapy for that. I mean,
I know. Yeah, there's a couple of kits I actually tried to build, which are still partly made, and it's one of the trumpeted kits is based on the Striker 8-wheel vehicle. It's that mine clearance with so many little tiny parts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also that's Russian missile launcher. I've had to stick that back in the box because I lost the decals for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, apart from that, but the real one I had issues with is the Ming Bradley tank.
Mm-hmm.
I got it built. I started to put the tracks on. You put one track on, the track next to it falls off.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, because they got they're like snapped together, but like if the pin that holds the track in is broken, that's why it comes off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Bronco tracks that were like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really the only. I don't have major issues. I don't have major stresses with models.
I don't know. I think your issue is what you said before. Your kits talk to you and give you an issue. They don't like you.
Yeah. Well, I have finally got the kit I've been waiting for.
Oh, okay.
Challenger too.
All right.
Yeah.
It was a little quick there. I mean, that's like a striptease, What was that? Show it again.
It's a Challenger 2, the TES
Mm-hmm.
kit. That's the one that's the newer version of the Challenger.
Well, he just froze, or was it me?
He's just
he's just frozen.
Oh dear.
No, I'm on my phone. I'm not on my computer today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming awfully clear, but you're freezing up there, mister.
Yeah, you've got signal
Illustrated.
dropouts.
Fun. You got that book today?
Puma.
Yeah.
That's a step-by-step guide to weathering German war vehicles. So you can have about 12 steps per tank.
Mm.
So yeah, so you can. There is ways of helping, and it's just like I say. You just sometimes it may be the kit itself that has issues unforeseen issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because you always get like out of 100 of the same kit, you probably get a couple that are a bit warped or misshapen or missing a certain piece.
Yeah.
Or in the case of the Meng, is it the Meng Panther? I think it's the Meng Panther G. You very, very carefully put all their tracks together, and then you find they don't actually fit on the drive sprockets or around the road wheels because this is something that has like not only the piece of track, but it's got two separate guide horns as well, and then they don't sit either side. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've got that to come.
But there's even a update because Ryfield actually punted a correction in the instructions. Corrections of instructions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that's got a nice little bit of photo etch everywhere.
Photo etch.
That's another little issue that a lot of kits have now is that they've made really, really tiny pieces of photo etch.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's unnecessary torture. That should be given to terrorist suspects to build.
It depends how much you're used to working with tiny pieces. That's all.
Unnecessary small parts to that.
You dropped out there. Say that again.
I'm sorry, I'm just using my phone, so it's probably not picking up my voice as good. It's like the the trumpeter striker kit I built that had so many small pieces. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's some of the issues I've had. It's just nothing major, but nothing minor either.
Well, I can relate because when you got fingers like toes, it does become difficult. He froze up again. He keeps freezing out. All right.
I'm just having a laugh here at some of the chat.
Okay.
Oh, they're chopper jokes they got going on?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything more to add, everybody?
No, we're done. Oh, nice seeing you all again anyway.
What's that?
I just said it's nice seeing you all again. I'm going to be practically back working weekends again now.
Oh, cool.
Good.
But unfortunately, the weather has not been that nice this weekend. So.
Right. Well, that's what Randall said, and we got the opposite now. It seems like when it's nice there, it's miserable here.
Yeah.
Hopefully lockdown, we get wall-to-wall sunshine, can't go anywhere. As soon as they ease the restrictions, boom, the bad weather comes back in again.
Oh yeah.
You can go anywhere. You're a modeler. Come on.
Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere anyway.
by design, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we practically built for this lockdown.
Oh, you know what? I think we can speak volumes upon this experience we've had in the past couple of years, and it's only modeling that gets us to get out of our shells and be creative and do stuff. I had a lot of changing of gears to do, and I'm sure a lot of others whenever they got into a difficult situation. I hope this video sheds some light on what the hobby is like, and maybe because of the social distancing, you don't feel so alone when you found yourself painted in a corner or in modeling sense, built into a corner, and find your way out. It's a common thing. And keep on sharing, everybody, on MeWe as well as Facebook communities. And this was a last-minute thought to bring up as a subject. If you folks are watching, or anyone here have an idea to discuss about and do some show and tell, of course, let me know. And then next month, which is we're on schedule. This is I try to do the first Saturday of the month. It didn't turn out that way in May, and I got to thank Wayne profusely for the fantastic subject matter that we did in May, and that was about contests, about entering, about displaying, about the judging, and about even what Wayne was talking about, actually putting on a show for other modelers. That's a great video. Go look at it on our channel at Facebook. And I think the title is Modelers Face Their Critics. And I think the worst critics that we do have are just us. We find all the mistakes. Yeah, you're right. Take a picture of your builds and then take a look to see how well you've done. So,
Okay.
ideas, just let me know. We'll get into it. Next month is going to be July. But this is the thing. It's July 4th. It is a holiday here in the States, Independence Day. And I don't know if
If
anybody...
you still got anything left.
Well, shoot, the only American here is Bob and I.
Yeah, the first is our big holiday too.
And then there's 3 of you who think it's Treason Day,
Yeah.
and 1 of you can care less.
Yeah.
But we'll play it by ear. If it's not the 4th, the 11th. So keep an eye out on the channel and see when it does happen. I don't know. Sometimes, like this one was just last night, I had a brainstorm. Hey, oh my God, it's a broadcast weekend. Let's talk about something. So let me know, and comments, suggestions, always welcome. And your participation in the chat room. Thanks, Dirk, for stopping by, as well as George. George, how could I forget you? You are steadfastly always watching, and I certainly appreciate that. And Heath was stopping by. He probably has gone to bed. And Lou said he would have joined. He's enjoying the show, and he's doing a big job. And I kind of hinted on something, but he didn't respond.
No. You sure he's not out rioting and looting at the minute?
What's that?
You sure he's not outside rioting and looting?
Lewitton.
Looting.
Oh,
Looting.
looting.
Why? Yeah.
Doing his namesake. Probably looting his own stash.
Yeah. All right, I got a pile of washing to do now. See you later, guys.
All right, you have a good day there.
Anyway,
If you're on the community, we do hang out every Saturday, even though it's not a broadcast. The link is there. Go to MeWe, sign up, join us, and join the Hangouts if you want to hang out with us. Heck, that's where we're going to go now, I think. And we'll see you next month. Thanks for watching. Happy modeling, everyone. Good day.
Good day.
bye.
All right.
Video.